Uniform. Killer.
And this song was the one that started it all.
The song we just heard was like a mix master drink of Nick Cave, Satan, and Nightmare Before Christmas, all mixed together.
Like the Tim Burton reference, that's good.
Good, because I was afraid that was going to be like an insult.
No, no.
A more darker Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton style.
Yeah. I understand what you mean. That long section, it gives room for letting the players just, you know,
Go crazy.
have fun, yeah, and go crazy. We had Anne Marte Sørlien Holen, who's a percussionist from Norway, and she came over and did all kinds of amazing stuff on that part. You know, gongs and tubular bells and timpanis and other stuff, I guess. And also we had Dana Schechter from New York, Brooklyn, and did the slide guitar parts. There's a lot of room to just make that whole section just gigantic, and it worked out really well. Christopher Lowe on Flugabone, the big trumpet.
Yeah, the instrument that I commented, like the part.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's that part with Christopher's bassy trumpet, basically, Flugabone. Also Dana's slide guitar, lap steel guitar.
But these people, before you go on,
Yeah,
why fly somebody all the way from Brooklyn?
yeah.
Why not use somebody from Norway to do the same job?
That's a good question. Because when I make music, I need, and when I do anything actually, even when I do this kind of stuff with you,
Of snow.
yeah. Or when I did the documentary with André. I need to feel some sort of connection with the people that I do it with. So that means that if I get an idea of doing lap steel guitar or whatever, I can't just call up Mr. Lap Steel from Norway or in Sweden. We could have just used a guy from here, for God's sakes. There's a bunch of fantastic folk musicians in this area of Sweden, in Dalarna area. But I can't just have a guy coming in and do it. You need some sort of connection with them and to feel that connection. And nowadays, flights are quite inexpensive. She was kind of going in this direction anyways. We flew her in, and so worth it, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So worth it, and so good to have all of her strength and all of her experience and all of her power. Female power. The same thing with Anne Marte, really, you know, just in a little bit of a different context. She too brings so much to the recording. And the stronger the personalities, the stronger I think the output, and also then what you hear is more substantial to me. And this song is interesting because this is the main song, because usually I write maybe 10, 12 songs for an album, and this song was the one that started it all. This song is about
Crazy guy.
Mr. Marlborough, in my words, and it started the whole idea of basing it on Marlborough / Who Do You Love? That character. Actually, when it started out, when I wrote the song, I wanted it to be more like a, well, I think I thought of Jesus Lizard first, but it was more of the band that was before Jesus Lizard, Scratch Acid. So I wanted a song like Scratch Acid-y kind of song.
That's a crazy ass band name.
Yeah. It's a fantastic band from early 80s with David Yao on vocals. The drummer went on to become Ministry's drummer, I think. The two other guys, they had Rape Man with Steve Albini for a while. I think so. It's all connected there somehow.
Yeah.
And eventually they became the Jesus Lizard that did really well in the 90s. But I kind of wanted to make that kind of a song, and I made it kind of as open chords, like a lot of room for interpretation. But then I heard the Beach Boys on Pet Sounds. They have this amazing intro for one of the songs, this timpani intro. When me and Joachim, the drummer, met up, we kind of turned the whole song around and stole that rhythm from the Beach Boys, and all of a sudden you have more of like a martial, even closer to like industrial kind of, like more
the
martial
drive in it.
Yeah, exactly. So then it just turned upside down. I was listening to Nick Cave on he has, as you said,
Yeah.
The song we just heard was like
a mix master drink of Nick Cave. Cool.
I think it's Your Funeral, My Trial. There's one of those songs, I think it's called The Carney. It has this kind of, it feels like you're in 1932 on one of those sideshow circus.
That's what I wanted to say.
Like sort of
freak show carnival kind of thing.
Exactly, that kind of vibe. Karen played this pump organ, and all of a sudden the song was just, all right, we can just do whatever we want here, really. It's really interesting.
Because it's more the sound you have now compared to other albums, like the previous one, The Gospel, like really heavy, and the first time I heard it, kind of didn't register what I just heard. Kind of like too much for me in the start.
Yeah.
But then it kind of grows on you. But this was more of a playful sound.
Maybe, yeah. It could be.
And the Carney thing, when you said that, it's spot on the feeling, the vibe.
So if you hear that Nick Cave song, it has that kind of circus vibe to it, and what's it called, Carnivale. You just feel like I am some sort of fucked up Carnivale vibe to it. Kind of strange, but it's
kind of like you live, actually.
Kind of.
It is.
Yeah, there you go. That long section was actually quite short. When I heard it with the drums, I was just like, all right, here's another reference for this song. It's like a mashup of all of these different kinds of influences. I've always liked the composers, like the contemporary composers, like Arne Nordheim and those guys. You know, those noisy composers, especially the ones from Stockhausen and those 60s composers. And some of them, a little later on, like in the 70s, they were more like rock influenced. And one of those guys were a French composer called Igor Vakevich, I think that's how you
stumble upon all these musicians.
I don't know, it's been nerding around for a long time, but he's got an album called Logos. I don't have it on me here, but this is the... And... Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, I'll find a photo.
Igor Vakevich. Yeah, there's Logos and there's one called Dr. Faustus, I think. But they're more like rock-influenced composer music. He has these long... It's like Xenakis too, the Greek composer. They have these longer sections with, that I think are really brilliant orchestral noise music, basically. Like Penderecki too, the Polish composer. But Vakevich is a bit more playful, maybe, a bit more rock. I thought of just making that one long section, which wasn't that long in the beginning, like really long, and just playing around with the same kind of stuff that Vakevich does. I think it worked out really well. It's like you just fly into this different world sphere, you know? I
haven't heard that many songs yet, but definitely one of my favorites till now.
Thank you. Cheers.
Oh, and by the way, when you said that you only work with people that you feel some kind of connection with, and that's why you wanted me to make these awesome videos.
Oh yeah?
Thanks. And I saw his penis today when you were driving.
Did you get a shot of it?
No, I felt like an intruder. I thought I'd save it for next time we swim.
This is a bit warmer right here. Which is tomorrow. Because I guess you can have it as, if we ever release this, you can have it as, you can show it to your girlfriend. That would be good.
She would like it.
Just don't tell anyone, and just she can have a look at it.
When you wake up, you know where you are.
Sometimes I do.
Sometimes I don't.
Really big fan of Rolling Stones. Beatles too.
Friends. Has success changed your life?
It's a warm song that kind of made me, you're gonna hate me now, kind of gave me the vibes of
Wanting to buy ARABROT records.